Welcome to a world beyond your wildest nightmares. A world where the lines between reality and horror blur, and the darkness never sleeps. Are you ready to face your fears? To step into the shadows and confront the unknown? Beware, for what you are about to witness may chill you to the bone. From the twisted minds of the most demented storytellers comes a new tale of terror, beyond anything you've ever experienced. A group of friends decided to go camping in a deep forest. They set up their tents and started to relax. As the night fell, they heard strange noises coming from the trees. At first, they thought it was just an animal, but the noises grew louder and more intense. Suddenly, they heard a loud growling sound that shook the ground. They looked around and saw a massive creature emerging from the woods. It was a towering figure with glowing eyes and a menacing roar. The creature was covered in fur, had razor-sharp claws, and teeth like knives. The group was terrified and tried to back away, but the creature started to chase them. They ran as fast as they could, but the creature was too fast. It caught up to them and attacked, leaving them with deep scratches and bite marks. As they ran for their lives, they stumbled upon an old cabin. They quickly took shelter inside and barricaded the doors. They could hear the monster growling outside and scratching at the walls. They knew they had to come up with a plan to escape. They found a map of the area inside the cabin, and after studying it, they realized that the creature was guarding a nearby cave. They decided to sneak past the monster and head towards the cave. They knew it was their only hope of making it out alive. The group moved silently and made it to the cave without alerting the creature. But as they entered the cave, they realized that they had made a grave mistake. The cave was full of smaller creatures, and they were all staring at them with glowing eyes. They realized that they had entered the lair of the monster's offspring. The group tried to run, but the creatures chased them through the cave. They were outnumbered and overpowered. They never made it out alive, and their disappearance remains a mystery. To this day, people who camp in that forest report hearing growling sounds and seeing glowing eyes in the darkness. A group decided to go camping in a secluded forest. As night descended, they started to tell ghost stories around the campfire. One friend mentioned that the area they were camping in used to be a training ground for the military in the past. Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching their campsite. They thought it might be just another camper, but as the footsteps grew closer, they realized that it was something else. The group looked up and saw a group of ghostly figures dressed in military uniforms walking towards them. The ghosts were solemn and silent as they approached the group. They looked like soldiers from another era, with old-fashioned rifles and gear. The group was terrified and tried to back away, but the ghosts surrounded them and started to speak. The ghosts told the group that they were soldiers who had died on the training ground many years ago. They said that they were unable to rest peacefully and that they needed help to move on. The group listened in awe as the ghosts recounted their stories of war and sacrifice. Suddenly, the ghosts vanished, and the group was left alone in the darkness. They were shaken but decided to help the ghosts find peace. They searched the forest and found an old military cemetery nearby. They decided to pay their respects to the fallen soldiers and perform a small ceremony. As they left the cemetery, they saw the ghostly figures again. But this time, the ghosts were smiling and waving, as if they had finally found peace. The group left the forest with a newfound respect for the soldiers who had died there and a sense of peace knowing that they had helped the ghosts find rest. A family decided to go camping in a remote area of the forest. As they set up their tent near a small stream, they noticed a strange symbol carved into one of the trees nearby. They thought it might be just a random carving, but as the night fell, they started to hear strange noises coming from the woods. The noises grew louder and more persistent, and the family started to feel uneasy. Suddenly, they heard a blood-curdling scream coming from the woods. They tried to ignore it, but the scream was followed by more screams, each one sounding closer than the last. The family decided to investigate and grabbed their flashlights. As they walked towards the source of the screams, they noticed more symbols carved into the trees. The symbols looked like they were part of a larger pattern, but they couldn't make sense of it. Suddenly, they saw a figure standing in the darkness. It was a tall and slender figure, with long arms and legs. It was wearing a black cloak and a strange mask. The family tried to back away, but the figure started to move towards them. The figure spoke in a strange language and made gestures with its hands. The family couldn't understand what it was saying, but they could feel its hostile intent. They tried to run, but the figure was too fast. It caught up to them and attacked, leaving them with deep cuts and bruises. The family managed to escape and ran back to their car. As they drove away, they couldn't shake off the feeling of dread and confusion. They had no idea what kind of creature or cult they had encountered, and they never felt safe in the woods again. To this day, no one knows the mystery behind the symbols carved in the trees or the identity of the figure that attacked the family. The story remains a terrifying and unsolved mystery. Thanks for watching this video, but be warned, the horrors you've just witnessed may follow you into your dreams. As you close this window, remember that the darkness is always lurking just beyond the light. And who knows what terrors await you when you turn off your device and venture into the unknown. So keep your wits about you and your doors locked tight. You never know what kind of horrors may be lurking just outside. Good night, and sweet nightmares.